What's up guys, and welcome back to the next episode of this little Ford Connect micro campervan conversion. So in the previous episodes I've got the van fully insulated, I've got the new flooring laid in, it's all fully carpeted on the inside as well. I've also got the solar panel up on the roof. So now all of the basics are done, it's time to start doing the conversion work of the interior, start building up the units, things like that. So today, as I say, I've been out and bought some nice lightweight ply shower board. This is what I'm going to be using to build all of the kitchen units with. It's a lot lighter and thinner than a lot of the furniture ply that you can get out there, and it's also relatively cheap as well. So I'm going to be cutting these down, and I'm going to be doing a full length unit spanning the entire length of the driver's side of the vehicle. Up front there's going to be a Smev hob and sink unit. Underneath it there's going to be a Dometic fridge. Next to that there's going to be some gas bottle storage and battery storage, things like that, and there's also going to be a cupboard here for food storage, things like that. So there's going to be plenty of work to be done today. As I say, I'm going to be cutting all these boards down to shape. They're going to be roughly round about 60 centimeters high, spanning the entire length, and when we get towards the end this is going to be full, almost full height. It might be a little round about 10 centimeter gap at the top, something like that, just to slide any additional little bits and bobs on top of. This area is also going to have some sliding open doors as well, again just for easy access into all the storage. And once all the kitchen cabinet side is fully built, in the following episodes I'll then be able to crack on and get the rock and roll bed that I'm going to build from scratch built in this side as well. So first things first, as I say, this is the boarding that I'm going to be using. This is like a white marble finish on it, nice white and bright. That's what I wanted inside the van. I don't want anything that's going to be too dark or grimy or anything like that. I want nice white or bright colours inside, just to make the living area that little more bright and spacious, things like that. So I'm going to go and get some safety gear out, some tools out, get some of these boards cut down to shape, and then we'll have a look when it's all finished, and hopefully by the end of this episode we'll have a fully constructed kitchen unit with full storage along the side as well. So let's get cracked on. Right, so as you can see the unit's starting to come together now. I've put a little cutout for the brand new Dometic CRE50 fridge that I've got. And if you look for anything similar that I'm going to be fitting, like this Dometic fridge or the Dometic hob sink unit that I'm going to be fitting as well, check the link in the description below and there'll be links going out to eBay where I've bought everything for this conversion. So as I say, now the main cabinet's starting to come along. I've got an offcut of a real wood worktop. This offcut came out of the minibus because that was just under 2 meters, so I still had over 1 meter left of this worktop. So as you can see, I've already been in and had a couple of draw rounds just to be sure where it needs trimming down. So now I'm just going to trim this worktop down, then I'm going to be cutting a hole in it for the Dometic hob and sink to sit inside it. When all that's done, then we'll be able to get the worktop back inside and finish the construction of the actual cabinet itself. But it's coming along nicely. As I say, I'm quite happy and pleased with how it's coming on so far. So I'm going to get some more safety gear out, some more tools out, and get this worktop cut down. And this is the little Dometic unit that I'm going to be fitting into the real wood worktop. It's just one of the sinks with the single burners on, as you can see. So this should be nice for the small little micro camper van that I'm building out. I didn't want to put anything too big in because it would just take up too much space inside the conversion. So to get it cut, I've already turned the full unit upside down on the underside of the worktop, as you can see. I've been round and drew a full template all the way around the outside, and I've taken it away and drew another template all the way around the inside, and that's what I'm going to cut out first, because I'd rather do a smaller hole and edge it out where it's needed, rather than trying to do one big hole in one cut and then realising that I might have done a little miscut, something like that, and ruining the entire worktop. So I'm going to do this smaller cutout first, and then if it needs any edges, then we'll do those edges later on. So let's get this big hole cut out for the hob and sink unit. Right, so there's the cutout for the hob done, and it roughly laid in place, nothing secured down. I'm just doing lots of test fits at the moment before I do the final fixtures and fittings. But as you can see, there's the fridge in the unit itself. It's still got all the protective plastics on and things, but again, that's all to come off when it's all ready to go in its final place. Then, as I say, there's a little hob unit in there as well. It's not secured down at the moment. Again, this is just more test fitting more than anything else. But as you can see, it's going to fit in nicely there, and with the fridge there and the hob there, it's going to give a nice little kitchenette area for the little micro camper van. So now the hob hole is fully cut out into the worktop, I can now start doing the final bits to get all the fixtures and fittings in place and get this full unit fully constructed. So I've got a couple more sheets to cut down, one to box off this side, one for the lid on the top, and I've already got a sheet cut down for the rear side as well. So I'm going to get that other sheet out, do a few more trims and cuts, and hopefully soon we'll have a fully constructed kitchen unit. Right, so the interior unit's coming along quite nicely now, and before I put it all together, I'm going to fully treat the real wood worktop, just to be sure that it's fully treated, fully protected, just to be sure that any water that gets on it's going to be repelled away rather than soaking in. So I've been out and got some Danish oil. I'm just going to be giving this a couple of coats. I've already sanded it down, so as you can see it's already a little bit sandy. So I'm going to give it one more brush over, then we'll give it some Danish oil. Then once that's all applied, we'll get the worktop back in and we'll start getting this unit fully constructed, all put together, and hopefully soon we'll have this fully built and fully finished off. So as I say, I'm going to get this worktop fully treated first, and I'll pick it back up after that's all done. Right, so now the worktop's in place and the unit's pretty much all built now. I'm just going to give the worktop one final coating of some more deep mahogany Danish oil. I've already sanded the worktop down and gave it a couple of coatings, but now it's in its final place and I've got the hob in. I'm just going to give it one final quick coating over because I don't think I even recorded doing the previous coatings as well. That's the thing with this unit. I've been working on this unit for probably 2 or 3 weeks now, in between finishing off all the little jobs in the minibus, and because it's been doing the unit in dribs and drabs, I have forgotten to record a couple of bits here and there, like putting the Tambour unit in, things like that. But as you can see, it's all coming together quite nicely, and there's only a couple of small little things left to do, which include, as I say, doing another coating of the Danish oil and putting a little bit of trim around the fridge, similar to, as you can see, around all the Tambour unit and things like that. So I'm going to give it one more coating of the Danish oil, then we'll get some trim around the fridge, and that'll be the unit fully complete. Right guys, so that's the unit all fully put together and fully assembled now. I've got a feeling some of the assembly footage might not have came out very well, just because it was quite dark in the van when I was putting the final screws and final touches to the assembly of the unit itself. But other than a small little bit of trim that I've still got to put on, that's pretty much all done now. So we've got access to the full brand new Dometic CRE50 fridge. On top of that, we've got a real wood worktop with one of these Smev units with the single hob and the drain unit as well. So we've got a brand new single hob unit with a tap and a drain, and all of this is going to be going down to some wastewater tanks that are underneath as well. So we've got some cooking facilities, some washing, some water, some refrigeration, and then storage wise we have a Tambour unit here that's got a couple of shelves in, and I've still got to do all the electrics inside it, so that's why we've got a couple of loose cables here. I'm going to be doing that in one of the later episodes. But as you can see, that Tambour unit also gives lots of storage for both food, clothing, water, anything like that. Nice big storage unit that's fully accessible even when the bed is in its bed position or when it's going to be in the sofa position as well. Obviously with a Tambour unit it just pulls up and down, no problems, easy access into all of the storage. Now at the rear of the unit I've also cut a little access hole in. This again needs just a little bit of trim going around it just to tidy it up. But inside here, this is where we've got access to where we're going to have 2 water tanks, one fresh and one wastewater. There's going to be the propane gas tank here as well. And as you can see through there, that's the inside of the Dometic fridge with the 150 amp hour gel battery as well in there as well. So this unit's housing both the fresh and wastewater, the propane gas tank, the full kitchen unit, the fridge, the battery. All of that's fully included inside this unit itself. So that means once the rock and roll bed is in place, any storage under the rock and roll bed is going to be able to be used for just general storage with all of your food, water, things like that, all being tucked away inside this unit. So I'm quite happy and pleased with how the unit's actually turned out, considering it's the first time I've built a full length sideways running unit with everything built into the one unit as well. As I say, I've done little units before, but this is the first biggest unit with a Tambour unit door as well. And say I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. So the only thing I've got left to do now, in the conversion wise, is to create the rock and roll bed, and obviously do a little bit of cabling, tidying, things like that inside the unit. But the next episode I'm going to be concentrating on getting the rock and roll bed fitted. That's going to be running the full length of the remaining living area space. Obviously when it's in the seat position it'll give you plenty of space. When it's in the bed position it'll probably take up the full length. But as I say, that'll be in the next episode. I hope you found this build of the actual main side running unit useful and helpful. If you did, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button as well. I've documented every part of this conversion on the channel, as well as another 7 or 8 conversions previously on there as well. So hopefully we'll see you on next week's episode when we're doing the rock and roll bed build, and we're getting closer to nearing completion of this Ford Connect micro campervan conversion. So, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think below, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Cheers.